Joining us to talk about this Panthers loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is Locked On Panthers host Julian Council. Julian, last week you could put in the moral victory category. Not this one, though. What happened to the Panthers in this game? Because they had it again, and they lost it each and every time.
Yeah, Dave Canales said after the game, it was just the things that we gave away. He talked about his team missing 2 field goals in that game from 38 and 45 yards on the same day where Eddie Pinheiro broke Graham Gano's record for 41 straight made field goals inside Bank of America Stadium. They have the non-touchdown call there in the first half where it appeared that Adam Thielen had both feet, or had 1 foot down and an elbow and gained control of a touchdown, but was not called a touchdown on the field or after review. And then the fumble at the end of the game. Chuba Hubbard there in overtime after Adam Thielen makes a spectacular one-handed catch. He fumbles on the very next play as Carolina appeared to be setting up to kick a field goal in a couple plays. And, well, that's it right there. They gave this one away against a divisional opponent who they were better than for 3 quarters. But then in the fourth quarter, give a ton of yardage. And overtime, had a chance to win the game. Weren't able to get that win. And we're able to get that stop and needed after that. So, yeah, that's what happened today for Carolina. They gave it away.
All right, we gave this defense flowers last week for 5 sacks on Pat Mahomes. They got after Baker a little bit. They did not get after Bucky Irving. He ran wild on this Carolina defense, and the ground gains in the second half for the Bucs and in overtime were just too much to bear for Carolina.
You understand what Bucky Irving did to the Panthers in that fourth quarter. He had 113 yards total from scrimmage in that fourth quarter on those first 2 scoring drives that Tampa had, the touchdown drive and then the field goal drive. He had a career high rushing today, and the Panthers defense has not been good against the run all season long. Gave up 236 yards on the ground today. That's not a surprise, but for a rookie who's been ascending in Tampa to be able to have 113 yards on 2 drives in a fourth quarter, that's just unacceptable on every level. I know they're missing Shaq Thompson. I know they're missing Derek Brown. We're clearly seeing it week in and week out, but that really changed the game there in the fourth quarter after Carolina. They went into it with a 282 to 181 yard advantage, total yardage wise, in the first 3 quarters, and then give up 264 yards in the fourth quarter and in overtime, just 176 total yards there in that fourth quarter, where they ended up giving away the game, getting it back, and then having it send it to overtime on that 51-yard field goal.
Julian, we touched on this tough loss, but we have to talk about Bryce Young. He was absolutely building off of the last couple of weeks to the point where he had just that Bryce magic in the fourth quarter, scoring the go-ahead touchdown with 30 seconds to go. What did you make of Young today?
Yeah, well, obviously this is a frustrating loss for Panther fans out there. A game I feel like they gave away and that they should have won. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day in what was a 3-8, now 3-9 season where this team was not going to be a playoff team. What really matters is Carolina finding out who's going to be their quarterback moving forward. And over the last 2 weeks, Bryce Young has showed the things that I think everyone here in Carolina and everyone within that organization in that locker room wanted to see from Bryce Young, from just a leadership standpoint with the post-game speech he had last week to what he's been able to do on the field with his accuracy, standing there in the pocket against the blitz, leading him to what we thought was going to be his 5th career game-winning touchdown drive as he hit Adam Thielen across middle after stepping up in the pocket for a 25-yard touchdown. He was excellent. 298 yards passing, had a career high, 186 there in that first half. He's grown in confidence, grown with his accuracy, just his ability to maneuver the pocket, showing that athleticism with another rushing touchdown in today's game. A lot of things and reasons why the Panthers drafted him #1 overall about 18 months ago, back in April 2023. We're seeing some of that, and it may be changing the calculus what the Panthers are going to do moving forward the rest of the season and heading into 2025 at the quarterback position.
It's to the point where we don't even need to ask Dave Canales who the starter is for next week. Everybody kind of knows now. But has Bryce Young, these last handful of weeks, taken the decision off of Dan Morgan and Dave Canales and Dave Tepper's plate for 2025?
I still feel like we need to watch it for the final 5 games. I don't want to be too quick either way. Maybe I got in trouble earlier this season after 2 games where I sat here and told you I felt like they should have stuck with Bryce Young. But then we saw how Andy Dalton played, and we also listened to Dave Canales continually back Andy Dalton. Didn't feel like Bryce Young was going to get another opportunity. I thought he was going to be done here in Carolina. So I will admit, I was wrong there. Clearly, he's not done in Carolina as he's been starting, and he is headed towards potentially starting in 2025. You have to understand, the last 2 weeks, Statistically, that's what you want to see. As far as on the field and just how you watched it, that's exactly what you want to see. The Saints game, the Giants game, same case. But he's got 5 more weeks to continue to show it and continue to earn the opportunity to be the quarterback in 2025. The last month has been outstanding for Bryce Young, the best he's had so far in his career. And you look at it, maybe in a grand scheme of things, has it really been outstanding statistically at all times? No. But he's growing. We're seeing that development, and he's putting them in a position, as Dave Canales said the last couple of weeks, where they have to keep putting him out there and keep building upon the things that he's done. And if he does that for the next 5 weeks, then, yeah, I don't think they're going to be in any other position than to put Bryce Young back out there at the start of the 2025 season.
Julian, the Panthers' first touchdown of the day was Bryce Young getting out of the pocket, running right at the pylon, scoring, and then dancing. And it's like, be still, Panthers fans' hearts, to see that from this quarterback. He's not a running quarterback by nature, but what have you made of his ability to pick up first downs, to throw himself out there, and to score a touchdown today?
Yeah, well, that's Bama Bryce, right? That's the guy that I saw for 2 seasons under Nick Saban down there in Tuscaloosa. And I really look at the last year he was there in 2022. He really carried that Bama offense. That they had Jahmyr Gibbs, who's gone on to be a pretty doggone good player so far for the Lions. They didn't have a lot offensively outside of Bryce, and he kept them in it. I know it's Bama. They have all this talent and all that, but still, Bryce that year really carried that offense and was able to do some of the things that we saw today by scrambling, picking up some of that yardage, being that mobile threat. No, you don't want to have a game plan centered around the quarterback run with Bryce Young, but he's capable of doing what he did back in college, but what he's doing today, and he's done the last couple of weeks as an athlete there in the pocket at that quarterback position.
All right, Julian Council, thank you for joining us. Panthers head to Philly next week.